My name is Beverly Oliver Hawkins, and I was born in Kansas City, Kansas, and I grew up there and came here in 1977 to go to graduate school at the University of Minnesota. And my education is a bachelor's from Kansas State, a master's and a PhD from the University of Minnesota. And my first job actually was working for H.D. Lee Incorporated in Kansas City. Now I am the Chief Executive Officer of a nonprofit organization called Model City. I'm Coral Garner. I was born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama. And I grew up actually in the Baptist church. I grew up in 16th Street Baptist Church, which most people probably remember from the 4 little girls that were killed. One of my cousins was killed in that bombing, and wasn't introduced to the Methodist church until I married my husband in the 80s. And the first Methodist church that I belonged to was St. Mark's CME Church. And we married and moved to Minnesota in the late 80s and looked for a church home and decided to come to Camphor and have been members of Camphor since 1986. I have 2 children, and I work in healthcare and work with adolescents. And I love to read as part of my relaxation.
My name is Barbara Harris O'Neill, born in Evanston, Illinois, 1951, and I grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I speak English, and since I have been working, I've learned a little bit of Meme and some Spanish. I am United Methodist now, but I grew up going to a United Methodist church, but in my years after elementary became Catholic in order to go to a Catholic school. And that lasted until I graduated from college and went to teach first grade in the state of Tennessee, and then became United Methodist through going to church with my grandmother in Gallatin at Key Stewart United Methodist Church. I have a degree as Bachelor of Science in Education, but I began as interested in nursing. And so for 4 years I went into school of nursing before I decided to become a teacher. My first job again was teaching first grade, and I continue to do that teaching, but with 4-year-olds, 4 and 5-year-olds, so I'm a pre-K teacher. I got married 25 years ago and have 2 children, Cameron and Cassandra, ages 22 and 24, and I have a hobby of photographs and doing scrap.
Hello, I'm Judy Henderson. I was born in Savannah, Georgia in 1947. I grew up in Lexington, Kentucky, and St. Paul, Minnesota. I have always been United Methodist, and I attended college at Howman University, Associate Pacific University, and I ended up at Gustavus Adolphus College, where I received my BA degree. And I also attended the University of Minnesota in Mansfield State, where I received my master's degree in education and another master's in history and sociology.
My name is Chris Anderson, and I was born in Houston, Texas. And my father was a pastor starting a mission church there. And through the years we moved as he went to different parishes. And so I grew up in Texas and Illinois and Oregon, and finally back to Minnesota. He was a Lutheran pastor, and we were raised in the Lutheran church, and now he's come to the Methodist church through our son, who is African American and was asked to play for the Voices of Praise choir here at the Camphor Church. I'm a teacher. I believe in lifelong learning. I got my master's at 50 and a reading license at 60, and hope to use both of them for many years to come. And I love to be outside.
I am Dave Anderson. I was born in Minneapolis, raised in St. Paul. Education, I went to St. Cloud State College and I got a master's degree from the University of Minnesota. My first job was to teach in Minneapolis, where I learned how to discipline. I don't know if I could teach, but I could discipline. And then my second job was in Mouser. That's it.
My name is Carlton Garner. I was born in Birmingham, Alabama. I grew up there in Birmingham, Alabama until I came to Minnesota to attend college at the University of Minnesota. My first job, I worked in property management, real estate. I enjoy playing golf to relax. My religious affiliation, I grew up in the CME Church, which is Christian Methodist Episcopal Church. And I'm now here at Camphor, and as a part of being a CME, I've converted now to a UME. That's it.
My name is Richard Webb. I'm originally from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I moved around quite a bit before the age of 13. I lived in Kansas, I lived in Florida, I lived in California, and I lived in Iowa. I had the pleasure of riding a Trailways bus across the country by myself when I was 10. I went to college at the University of Northern Iowa. I also have been to Washington, D.C. twice and testified to congressional representatives from Iowa and from Minnesota about college readiness programs that are called TRIO. So I am the beneficiary of a TRIO program called Upward Bound. So I am a brother, and my brother and I are 17 years apart. And I am in the process of learning more about the Methodist Church and have been very blessed to be in the process of becoming a member. This is who we are. This is the small stories of Camphor Memorial United Methodist Church. Bless you.